Hello everyone, today is Tuesday, May 21st. It's 4:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The regular session closed about 40 minutes ago. On the time and sales, you can see some settlement trades going off. It's now 4:40 p.m. on the E-mini S&P at 2866. Today's video, first up, is the DAX Super Renko 14 tick. We started off with a small loser, only a couple of ticks, less than $100 drawdown here, and then came back with two winners in a row. And doesn't look like much here, but we ended up hitting our goal and had about $100 of slippage. The goal on this one's $2,000. Okay, next is the Nasdaq, which continues to show excellent performance. This one on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart did 1380 for the day, and it looks like we had 3 winners and no losers. And the goal on this is 1250, so we had excellent positive slippage here. The Nasdaq on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi tick chart had 2 trades back to back and did 1350, and our goal on this is 1250, so excellent positive slippage on this chart. Okay, so since my client qualified for the combine and he's using range bars, I decided to try some settings on range bars, and so I set up an E-mini S&P on a 4 range bar chart, and I used the open range filter, so it's not taking any counter trend trades here, basically going with the trend. Notice how it avoided all of this choppy action. I mean, this was a horrible day for trading until, at least for the first hour here, you just see this kind of sideways chop, and why some of these moves may have been tradable. It did take a long trade here, and it was profitable for about $120, and then it got whipsawed on a couple of losers here and drew down only $125. That's $60 a contract. But then it came back when the market broke out of this range here. It took this long and did not get fooled into the short here because of the open range filter, and did pretty good. And then another long after that brought it up to its goal. I set a goal of 750, so it probably had some slippage here. And I basically set a 4-point profit target on this, and how I arrived at that was just kind of measuring some of the swings. And then at 16 ticks, I'm trailing by the volatility stop. At 24 ticks, trailing by 1 bar. That's probably what happened here. Is you can see at the low of this bar, we got taken out of the trade. Once again, testimony to the auto trader being able to trade in many different types of charts and time frames. Very versatile in that regard. Okay, the very consistent E-mini S&P on a regular 5 Renko chart had 2 trades back to back. Really nice long trade here, and then a short here. And this hit its goal of 750 with 1 tick of positive slippage. The higher time frame filter on this chart is a Super Renko 8. Okay, same idea on this E-mini S&P 6 Renko chart. We have a higher time frame filter of Super Renko 6 and a goal of 825. We drew down almost $400, $200 per contract, but then recovered with 2 winners back to back here and hit our goal, plus a little bit of positive slippage. Okay, next is the DAX on a 34-tick line break chart, and we started off with 3 losers here, albeit they weren't that big. We drew down only $300, $150 per contract. That's very small for the DAX. Using the open range filter on a line break chart, as I've said before, can be quite effective. Then there was 2 back-to-back winners here, and that brought us up to 987.50. I think I set the goal on this at 1125. So it may have actually hit its target and had some slippage here. I think that's what's happened because it didn't trade again. So anyway, really solid performance here, recovering from, fairly minor drawdown for the DAX. Okay, the mini S&P on a Super Renko 4 tick, and this looks like it's the 60-minute higher time frame. This drew down less than $100 right here. You can see the drawdown. there was a losing trade here, and then it came back with 3 winners in a row. 2 small winners here, and then this really nice long trade here brought us up to our goal, which is probably 750. And here's our 60-minute higher time frame. So the higher time frame filter, once again, proving to be a very valid way of filtering out chop and unwanted trades and taking trades in the direction of the trend. Okay, next is the bonds on a 150 tick line break chart. Pretty nice here, almost $500 on a couple of trades here, back to back, no drawdown. Okay, another E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 4 tick. Kind of like the 4 range chart, we have an open range filter on here, and also the higher time frame filter. So we avoided all these counter trend moves and stayed with the bias above the open bullish, below the open bearish. Notice the support here. The open range here I have set, it's only about 2 ticks on either side, but nevertheless you can kind of see the support here. And then of course the support continued here. In other words, the resistance here turned into support here, and that often happens. And so anyway, we did 400 on this chart, probably shy of its goal. Okay, the DAX on a 150 Heikin-Ashi tick chart with the open range filter drew down here about 650 or 325 per contract, and then recovered. Had a loser here, drew down again, and finished at 800. So still pretty decent in spite of a couple of losing trades. This is an 8-tick pullback. Our goal is 2050. Okay, this is the E-mini S&P on a Super Renko 6-tick chart that starts trading at 12:30 noon. And what can I say? 2 trades back to back and done trading, and did 700 for the day. The goal on this is 750, so it probably had a couple of ticks of slippage here. Okay, a modest gain on the crude of 340 on a couple of trades on a Super Renko 4-tick with a higher time frame filter, a Super Renko 6. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.